in order to show you how we react when we have problems, I thought the best way to tell you that, like, telling you the history and the info and everything about Stinis and how he developed and how using all the problems and challenges and to make it better, a better situation and opportunities. Because usually, as we think, you can make you can have opportunity, you can we have better opportunities and we plan better stuff if we have challenges. If every time everything's going very well, we may be when we feel really safe, we don't grow up and we don't develop anything. So I'm not sure if everyone knows about anything about Stinis and out about the spreaders. Stinis is a manufacturer of spreaders, and the head office is and the company is in Rotterdam area, and we do have a second manufacturer in Malaysia. This is now how it's staying. It's with two manufacturers, and the next one I will be showing you is how we get from the beginning until building the new manufacturers in Malaysia. And but Stinis first, it's a family company. It exists since 1813, so that means they had many changes and many developments. So it started as a blacksmith company. The company was handed. It's a family company that handed from father to son. They were getting adapted every time, every situation, and strategically located because they are located near to Rotterdam. Stinis, and that's what's very important because, as you know, Rotterdam is the beginning of everything for the Netherlands. If it has to do with the port, with the terminal. So Stinis started supplying the growing harbor of Rotterdam with chains and hooks, and that was the first biggest business of Stinis, which you can see it in the picture, and it's still ongoing. But the development of the container business in Rotterdam, and we know that in the 60s it started using containers, inspired Stinis to develop a way to make it the lifting of the iron boxes easier. So in 1967, one of the first iron, and can you see in the picture on the right, it's from my right, yeah, the first iron boxes was lifted by Stinis spreader. This moment coincided with a new generation of Stinis family. It was Mr. K. Stinis, who's the engineer of Stinis, and with him, the company evolves in a specialty in lifting equipment for containers. That's how the other way of following of Stinis. It's the spreaders, and that's how we started with the spreaders. How we call it actually. Finally, the spreaders were born, and the starting with the spreaders was with some inventions, which now it's actually currently is very important for the port. And the first one is because when we started with containers, we were using the manual beam spreader to pick up the container, which everything is manual. So you can, that's what it was existing in the 16 and 17 and the beginning of the 80s, but it was really not safety. And as you know, in Rotterdam terminals, from the beginning, it was the safety of the people working in terminal is very important. So they, with working with Stinis, they come with the idea to invent what we call it auto twisting. Is completely automatic. There is no, is not manual. So that says that you have, when you have to install it and to use it, you don't need, nobody need to use it. So that's safe for the people. There is no, how you say that? It makes the work of the people in the terminal, in the port, very safe. Then that's how we continue. But of course, as you know, the container ports in the 90s went very quickly, evolved, which increased the demand of the spreaders, more activity, bigger vessels. So, that's inspired Stinis by developing the spreaders, because the tool was existing, and usually how you know that with the vessel were bigger, those you have to pick up 2 containers at the same time. But usually it's not very easy because the 2 containers are not near to each other. There is some distance between the containers. So that has the development, what we call now Stinis long twin spreader.
Da, acum de pe telefon cum ies Andrei, dau live și rămân pe calcul. Ok.
Sorry? Maybe someone talking, is it? I was saying that.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear you, Wiam, but we also kindly ask you to try to concentrate a little bit the presentation and to follow a little bit towards the conclusions.
The conclusions is actually why, and I'm showing you how Stinis was reacting on the situation on the port. Like when they decide, when we, especially when we, it was the invention of the using of the containers. It makes it very difficult for the companies, and especially for terminal in Rotterdam was really usually very quick with development. That how to use with some save and how make it easier, because you know that's how it's inventing stuff that make it easier for the terminals to use it and to keep safety and to have more business and to have very good, because still we know, because as we know the container. The shipping of the containers, when it started, it went very fast in development. So as you know, as you may know, like now usually what we see is first we have a bigger vessels, while the crane are smaller. So we developed how we can use the spreaders to pick up, because having the long twin, it's having distance between 2 containers. So it was also a solution for to do more development, more containers very fast, and we react very quick. This is reacting very quick on the situation of the terminals. How we can adjust the problems of the terminals and the port in general. So, and of course, because we are in Rotterdam, and Rotterdam is always thinking to the future, not only now, but how we can, and how as I said in the beginning, how we can use the difficulties now to make it opportunities, because then we are pushed to be more inventive, more creative for using the problems and make them more positive. And that's how, so that's how we did with Stinis. And it's, I can say we are not really directly, we don't get directly with the problems of challenges and opportunities, but indirectly with the small part, we do help from our side. We keep helping by inventing stuff, how making the work in the terminals easier. So that's how, and then even following the growing of the terminals, and we see it's happening in the Black Sea. It's
Thank you very much. It was a very nice presentation. Yeah. We know how important are the spreaders and the trends towards automatization and towards unmanned terminals. But I propose that we shall keep some time at the end of this panel for discussion. Yes. And we can come back to these kind of innovative solutions that you are developing in the Netherlands for global problems. Yeah. Thank you very much, Wiam. Thank you for your very interesting presentation.